Welcome to another video. I am the Starman and I'm here in Blackpool and it's pretty early. Yeah, it's just after 6:30 in the morning and this is how Blackpool looks on a clear morning in September, just opposite the Lindeen Hotel here, one of my favourite parts of the promenade, this actually. I just want to show you down south here. And in this video I want to show you how to shoot the moon, and we've actually got a really nice moon. We're looking towards the south now, and if we look right high up, I'm telling you, it's so high up. There's a moon there, can you see it? Wow, look at that, that is really, really high up. It's a half moon, a waning half moon, and I'm going to show you how to get a good photograph of it. Oh, check out those colours there. The sun is rising just over there, can you see? The sun is rising towards the east at the moment, of course, because we're very close to the equinox, but I'm about to go down onto the beach now, and if you look this way, can you see? We've got a nice pink sky on the horizon, nice pink band. That's the belt of Venus. I'm going to head down onto the beach now, and I'll set up and I'll show you how to take a photograph of the moon using a DSLR and a telephoto lens. I tell you what, the light down here now is absolutely amazing. The colours are amazing here at sunrise in Blackpool. But anyway, we've got a nice half moon up there in the sky. You actually get two phases of half moon. You get a waxing half moon and a waning half moon. Now we've got the waning half moon at the moment. That means it's lit up on the left hand side, which means it's getting closer to the sun from our perspective. It's moving around the Earth in its orbit, and the next main phase of the moon will be a new moon when the moon is in front of the sun, pretty much in front of the sun, and we won't be able to see it, and then it all starts all over again. So like I say, it's a last quarter moon, and at the moment it's in a nice blue sky at the moment, and I've got this camera here. It's my Nikon D850 and I've got a 300mm lens on it. Now this is pretty much the shortest focal length that you can get away with. If you want to get a decent picture of the moon, you really need something a bit longer. The moon is not very big on the screen. If I point this camera at the moon now, it won't be very big at all. So if you've got anything less than this, you're going to be struggling a bit. But if you've got one of those Sigma 150 to 600 or the Nikon 200 to 500, you're not doing too bad. But I'm going to stick a converter on this to make it a bit longer. But let's set this up now and see how big the moon looks through this lens on my camera. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my camera here on the tripod now, and this thing here is just a cable release that I use to take the picture. Very, very handy, and it stops any kind of camera shake. So what I need to do now is I need to angle the camera up so that we get the moon in the shot. Let's see, it's quite high up. Like I said, it's really, really high up. So let's get this so it's on the moon, and let's see how big. I might have to readjust the camera for you. I'm sorry about this, but I just had to readjust the camera because the moon is so high up. Look at this, it looks like I'm aiming almost straight up. That is incredible. Yeah, look at that. We're looking at that right there. Oh, look, a plane. Oh, that would have been a nice shot going across the moon, wouldn't it? Okay, so as you can see, we've got the moon in the screen there, and can you see how small it is? Wow, look at that. That is pretty small. I'll just see if I can get it more centre, because what you want to do is you want to get the moon as close to the centre of your screen as you can. You don't want it near the edges because the quality of your lens will not be very good near the edges. Let's see if we can focus on the moon now. I'll just focus on that now. See, we've got a green light now, so it's focused. Let's zoom in. Oh, just look at that. Wow. I tell you what I'll do. I'll put the camera into video mode and I'll show you a video of the moon right now. Let's do that, shall we? Okay, check this out. We're now looking at a video. It might look a little bit bigger on the screen using video mode. Now, the reason for that is that when I'm using video mode on this camera, it zooms into the centre a little bit, so the moon will appear a little bit. Oh, it's just going into cloud. Look at that. Yeah, we just had a plane go across as well. That looks pretty spectacular, doesn't it? But like I said, it's very, very small in the screen. So what I need to do is I need to stick my 2x converter on. And let's get in a little bit closer. I'll tell you what, it's getting a bit brighter. Anyway, I've got this 2x converter. Look at this, a 2x converter for my lens. This will turn my 300mm lens into a 600mm. But one thing to take into consideration is that when you're using the teleconverter, it also reduces the amount of light coming into your lens. So my lens is a 300mm f4 lens, which is fairly fast. F4 is the widest aperture it has. And this will turn it into a 600mm f8, but it'll get us twice as close to the moon. Oh, look at that, we just had a lot of geese fly over. Oh wow. Ah, you see some amazing things when you're out early in the morning in Blackpool. Oh wow, look at this now. We are just about getting the moon on the screen now. I've just got to move the camera. Can you see the moon? It's just on the screen at the right hand side there. Look at that. Oh, this has made a big difference. Look at this now. We're a lot further in now, aren't we? Look at that. Let's get that in the middle. I'm going to be using auto, well, not auto settings. I'm using manual settings to take this picture. I'm using the camera as a guide. You see that this thing here, this is the exposure meter here, so we want to get that somewhere near the middle, near the 0, or maybe a bit less, you know, I might just override that a little bit, and the camera wants to take, so I'll just show you now. If I brighten it up, if I make the shutter speed longer, can you see how the moon gets brighter? But I think that might be too bright, you know. Let's focus again. I'll just focus on it again. Oh wow, look at that. So I think I'm going to override what the camera says, and I'm going to go a bit darker like that. Can you see? So the camera wants to expose. Can you see how that meter's coming up to 0? That's saying that's what the exposure should be. And it's probably about right, but I think because we want a good picture of the moon, I think the moon would look better with a like that, do you think? Something like that. We'll underexpose by 1 stop. So we've gone 1 bar below that 0 there. Now we're at f8 as well. In fact, you know how we're at f8 and I've got the teleconverter on. I want to put the aperture up a bit. I want to stop down to the next one because that will sharpen the picture up a little bit with the teleconverter on it, I think. So we're now at f11. The shutter speed is 1/50th, which is pretty slow. ISO 100. Now we are on a tripod, so the shutter speed doesn't matter too much, and I've got this cable release. So we're going to take a picture now and let's see how this looks. Okay, check this out. Look at that, you beauty. Look at that. Half moon, or should I say last quarter. I wouldn't say it's a perfect half moon. It's probably still slightly gibbous maybe. Yeah, but that looks absolutely amazing. We've got some really nice crater detail down where the terminator is. The terminator is the part of the moon where the light and the dark meet, the shadow meets up with the bright side of the moon. Yeah, so that looks absolutely amazing. So there you go, that's how to shoot the last quarter moon. So there you go, that was how to shoot the moon with a DSLR camera like I've got behind me, and I'm using a 300mm lens, and I also mentioned that a 300mm lens is probably the minimum. It doesn't really matter what camera you're using, a 300mm is just about the bare minimum for shooting the moon, but I also stuck on this 2x converter, which helped us to get quite a bit further in, and that made a massive difference. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again on the next one.